Do you condemn Hamas? No, I don't condemn Hamas. You're anti-Semitic. I'm anti-apartheid. No, you're anti-Semitic. No, you are pro-genocide. No, you are pro-terrorism. I am pro-Palestinians' right to self-determine, and because that is being violently suppressed by Israel, I do not pass moral judgment on the Palestinians' armed struggle for human rights. I can't believe you don't condemn Hamas. Well, get used to it. Neither does international law. Neither does the UN. Neither does the International Court of Justice. Neither does the International Criminal Court. Neither does the International Committee for the Red Cross. Neither does the Geneva Conventions. Israel has a right to defend itself. No, they don't. Legally, they forego the right to self-defense because of their wrongful, illegal occupation. Hamas rockets! If Israel wishes for the violence to stop, then it will withdraw its illegal blockade of the Gaza Strip. It will cease launching murderous, high-tech, remote-controlled bombing campaigns upon the Gazan people. In fact, according to Israel's own top legal experts in international law, the only right that Israel has is the right to withdraw from its illegal occupation. The only point in time in which Israel would retain the right to self-defense is if it withdrew from its illegal occupation of the Gaza Strip, it dismantled its illegal blockade, and at that point in time, if Hamas continued to fire rockets at Israel, then it would have a right to self-defense. You cannot claim the right to self-defense if that right to self-defense traces back to an illegal, wrongful occupation. Okay, but why are you yelling? From the river to the sea. That's a call for genocide. No, it's not. It's an emancipatory slogan from the mouths of oppressed people. No, from the river to the sea, if you think about it, just means wiping out the state of Israel. That's genocide. I cannot think of anything more deeply unserious than hyper-focusing on interpreting the words of an emancipatory slogan uttered by oppressed people, while those same oppressed people in the material reality right now are being genocided. Liberal apologists such as yourself made the same case for wiping out the Native Americans in the 18th and 19th century. Liberals such as yourself would defend and did defend slavery in the 19th century. And this is where invariably every argument leads. The logical fallacy. Israel is doing it, therefore they have the right to do it. It is happening to Palestine, therefore Palestine deserves it. These people are currently being massacred, and you are denying even their words, even their declarations of freedom. Yeah, gee, I guess you're right. I never thought of it that way. Look, all I really want to know is, do you condemn hummus? 97% of the water in Gaza is poisoned. Half of the population is labeled extremely food insecure by human rights organizations. Okay, but do you condone Homer? Gaza is one of the poorest places on earth. 60% of the population is unemployed. 90% of the economy is foreign handouts. Okay, but do you conduct horses? In 2014, Israel destroyed 16,000 homes in Gaza. Because of the illegal blockade placed on Gaza by Israel, human rights organizations concluded that according to the amount of trucks being let in to rebuild Gaza because of the Israel bombing campaign, it would take 147 years to rebuild Gaza back to the condition that it was in 2014. Right, okay, but that's not what I asked. I asked, do you cater hamburgers? 70% of the population are refugees. Look, it's a simple question. Do you convey hormones? Half of the population are children, so you don't conduct hamalama ding dong. The Israelis didn't do it. Israel always targets hospitals. In fact, since October 7th, they've bombed 19 hospitals and put out of commission entirely 3. Read through the human rights reports of Operation Protective Edge in 2014 and Operation Cast Lead in 2009. Israel always targets hospitals. In 1982, in fact, they started a war with Lebanon by bombing a Palestinian children's hospital. 60 of its occupants were killed. Yeah, but Hamas misfired that rocket. You know it. So let me get this straight. According to Israel, since October 7th, Hamas has fired 6,000 rockets and killed dozens of people. And yet, according to the Associated Press, it was a rocket fragment, not a rocket, but a rocket fragment that hit a hospital parking lot and was able to kill 500 people. So 6,000 rockets have been fired at Israel, killing a couple dozen people. And one rocket fragment kills 500 people. Well, that doesn't mean that Israel did it. We just don't know conclusively yet. And why do you think that is? Gaza is one of the most surveilled places on Earth. If the United States believes that Hamas has misfired a rocket against its own people, then why doesn't it release the satellite imagery? Second point, why is it that the United States has vetoed a decision to allow independent weapons inspectors into Gaza who could easily ascertain whether that was a Hamas rocket fragment or an Israeli missile strike? Could it be that the United States is culpable in covering up Hamas war crimes? They were civilians. They were settlers. They were innocent. Well, don't build your nation state next to a concentration camp. Wow, so you don't condom hummus? Excuse me? Do you condom hummus? Do you condemn the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising? Do you condemn the Nat Turner Rebellion? Do you condemn John Brown? Do you condemn the Haitian Revolt of 1804? Do you condemn the Puerto Rican nationals fighting off their American occupiers like they did in October of 1950? Do you condemn the Filipinos who did the same at the turn of the 20th century? I condemn the laws which make it legal to ethnically cleanse and institute an apartheid state. See, the difference between me and you is that I don't condemn symbolic liberatory violence. Neither does international law, by the way. I condemn the laws which make it legal to implement an apartheid and ethnically cleanse people. For the same reason that I don't condemn the Seminoles or the Cherokees for ruthlessly avenging the loss of their families and their land. I condemn the Indian Removal Act of 1830 signed by President Andrew Jackson, which made it legal to implement an apartheid in the United States. We are fighting for our very survival. And we are fighting for brunch. Jesus fucking Christ. Can we just continue with the air raid, please? We've been planning this for 2 years. We are battle hardened and dug in. This is our land. Nobody knows it better. We have a complex network of tunnels and concealed command posts by which to ambush the enemy. And we have a new TikTok dance. Wanna see? Oh my God, we are so fucked. If Israel decides to invade Gaza, we will be ready, and our allies to the north will open up 2 more fronts to the war. There's no way Israel can handle 3 fronts. Did somebody say front? For fuck's sake, this is gonna be a goddamn bloodbath. Can't we just keep bombing them? Do you condom hummus? No, you are not hijacking the narrative here. You are not making this about Hamas. This is about 56 years of illegal occupation. Okay, but do you condom hummus? A better question is, do you condemn the occupation? But do you condom hummus? Do you condemn the socioeconomic conditions imposed upon the people of Gaza, which gave rise to militant groups like Hamas, whose only option was to fight back after every peaceful plan to institute a 2-state solution was nuked by the Israeli government? Do you condemn the Israeli government for creating Hamas? For creating the conditions which made Hamas necessary? I'm sorry, did you not condom hummus? Do you condemn the policies of the Jewish supremacist ethno-state of Israel for inviting violence upon its own citizens? For not keeping its own citizens safe? For sacrificing security for expansion? Do you condemn the international community for holding its nose and not lifting a finger for decades after every time the Israeli government launched a murderous high-tech remote-controlled bombing campaign upon the people of Gaza? This is all Israel's fault. Ooh, cringe. Obviously, the issue can't be that simple. No, it can be, and it is. It is that simple. Yeah, but there's always 2 sides to every story. Yeah, and let's look at those 2 sides. One side is a nuclear power with high-tech munitions and advanced military equipment capable of fielding an army with an air force and a navy. And the other side is a concentration camp full of kids. Yeah, well, Hamas shouldn't have killed civilians. Correction! Israel should not have been ethnically cleansing and genociding the Palestinian population for the past 75 years. When you violently take land away from people and then place those people into a concentration camp and then slowly and systematically kill them off, you can expect some violence. Condemning revolutionary violence is tacit approval of state terror. You just don't like it when violence disturbs the stability of the privileged social relations in society. And violence done done to preserve the status quo is A-okay. Yeah, well, they still shouldn't have gone in and killed innocent civilians. Does Israel not have the right to defend itself? Do concentration camp guards have the right to defend themselves? Yeah. No. Do Palestinians not have the right to liberate themselves? Actually, according to UN law and the Geneva Conventions, they are, by all means necessary, allowed to liberate themselves. No one in their right mind would condemn or pass moral judgment on Haitian slaves using indiscriminate violence against their French colonial oppressors in order to liberate themselves. Maybe if the Palestinians were more like Gandhi. Even Gandhi justified forceful resistance in the face of impossible odds. These men knew they were going to die. Let me tell you something. The moment that you are consigned to a life in a concentration camp, facing eternal degradation, humiliation, being terrorized, having your entire family murdered, having your home destroyed, having your neighborhood destroyed, having your entire way of life destroyed, with no hope, absolute dread, every day getting more hopeless and being filled with rage, then you can pass judgment on those that broke the wall on October 7th. Oh, we're coming. Yes, and when do you plan to start? Oh, very soon. Very soon. And when will that be? Like in a couple days. Just you wait. You said a couple days ago. Yeah, well, that's because of bad weather, okay? Ever heard of it? Bad weather, alright. That's logistics for you, okay? These things are complex maneuvers. It takes a whole lot of coordination, things that you wouldn't understand, okay? That's why it's taking a little bit longer than we originally anticipated. But it's not because we fear a ground invasion, I can tell you that, okay? We do not fear Hamas at all. It appears your Air Force is doing most of the heavy lifting here. Now, why is that? I'll tell you why, because we're fearless, okay? Right. We're fearless. We do not have the fear. If there's one thing that we don't possess, it's fear. And what do you think about the possibility that the Israeli leadership is tentatively dragging their feet here and delaying a ground invasion, not because of bad weather, but because they're scared of Hamas? Scared? Absolutely not. We're not scared? Are you crazy? That's rich. Oh yeah, that's rich. Fucking dumb America's trying to get some hostages out. That's why. Interesting. Yeah, there's two things I do in this world, chewing gum and mowing lawns, and I'm all out of gum, looks like. Doesn't it seem like the Israeli leadership is not willing to risk the political fallout if the IDF were to suffer a lot of casualties in the ground invasion? Lamau! I think it's safe to say that the Israeli government is not willing to lose another war like it did in Lebanon in 2006. You just said the L word. Look, this is urban warfare. It's too complex. You just bombed an entire hospital. You wouldn't understand. It's too complex. And that was a bakery. And a flour mill. Look, there's just a lot of moving parts. We're doing all we can. You've killed 15,000 civilians, 2/3 of which are women and children. We're getting rid of Hamas. Seems like you're mostly just getting rid of defenseless civilians. No, we are minimizing that as best we can given the complex nature of urban warfare. Complex nature of urban warfare. Why are your IDF soldiers giving testimonies about how they are ordered to shoot anything that moves? Why are your own soldiers bragging about how they are firing missiles like they're playing a video game as they destroy entire neighborhoods? Because we are brave and we are the most moral army in the entire world. I shit you not.
Nixon ordered Cambodian genocide. Clinton sent cruise missiles to Sudan, people died. Obama, you gave the orders to do drone strikes. Reagan invaded Nicaragua in '85.